All right, and welcome back, and thanks for tuning in again to another Thrift Store Finds Monday. I'm JT, and good to see y'all. And I went to a few different thrift stores just this past week, about the past 6, 7, 8 days, and I bought a lot of records from 3 different thrift stores. I'm going to show records from 2 of the thrift stores. There's going to be 7-inch, and I'm going to start with 25-cent records. And I'm just going to get started because there's a lot of media, and it's all analog, baby, all analog, on the cheap. Now, first of all, here's a laser disc, 25 cents, National Lampoon, Animal House, in mint condition. I have The Last Waltz on laser disc, so I have about, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 10 laser disc, and I'm gonna score a good player. I'm gonna do it because I have a nice 32-inch or 40-inch that they would just look great on. A Sony from about the year 2007 and 8. So Animal House on Laserdisc in really, really great shape. And next, I buy classical music, especially when it's this clean. This is Mozart's greatest hits. Anything Beethoven and Mozart, I'm into. And this sounds great. I listened to this on my RT85 before I unhooked it because I'm gonna re-hook it up to my Denon. So anyhow, yes, Mozart, and really, really nice. And you have Eugene Ormandy, Glenn Gould, Andre Previn. This is just beautiful. Now, we're getting pretty close to Halloween. This is 25 cents. This is Halloween Horrors from 1977. So I'll be spinning this when kids, when we answer the door, when they trick or treat. So this is pretty nice. This is on A&M. And I never had that. Now here's just one more laser disc, and you gotta get, if you see Stripes, you gotta get it. Bill the Man Murray, right? And I have this on DVD, not Blu-ray, but I have a pretty massive movie collection, and I put them all together by film directors. So Stripes on Laserdisc. One last one. There was my 7-inch 45s almost fell over. There was a Spinners, and this is a little more disco Spinners, and I'll take any Spinners that I can get. Nice to have this one, and here they are. The Spinners, the boys in the band, and this is on Atlantic, 25 cents. So that was thrift store number 1. Now thrift store number 2 is becoming my favorite, and here I'll just show you when I walked up to the store, and it's in Sparks, Nevada. Okay, I'm back again in Sparks, Nevada at Salvation Army. It's one of their newer stores. I'm gonna go in and look for some records. And quite a lot of records. So we'll see what we have. Oh, not doing too good. Let's see what I end up with, though. Kenny. Tim Weisberg. Getting down on my knees. Great Hawaiian singer, Glenn. A lot of country records. Okay, a little bit more. So what I pulled out of there was really quite a bit, and there was a lot of 7-inch. And here is on Apple. This is Ringo Starr with the No-No song. And I met Hoyt Axton. He used to come into our restaurant, the French restaurant at Lake Tahoe. And I'll never forget, I had a nice chat with him, and he had a nice dinner. And I says, you know, Hoyt, you've written a lot of great songs. And he looked at me, he says, you know, I've written a lot of bad ones too. Really nice guy. His daughter went to North Lake Tahoe High School. He lived up there at North Lake for a long time. That was in the late 80s, early 90s. So nice to have. And on the B side, you've got Snookeroo. Let me show you. So the No-No song on Apple, great. And this is the only one that I don't have the record for, but I had to get Tony Basil with Mickey. And the B-side is Thief on the Loose. So that's a nice sleeve to have. And then here it was, guys. We Are the Champions Queen with We Will Rock You on the B-side. Right? Had to get it. This, you know, this is my son Sean's very first favorite band. This and David Bowie, Under Pressure. So, had to get that one. Now, The Tide is High, Blondie, picture sleeve. Really nice one, huh? And this is on Chrysalis. And then I've been sending a lot of VCLT to 2 or 3 different people with from the Knack. And this is My Sharona with Let Me Out on the B-side. Pretty nice one to have, huh? On 7-inch, this is on Capitol. And then the ever beautiful and stunning Sade, Smooth Operator and Spirit on the B-side. You gotta love Joe Jackson with Steppin' Out. Chinatown's on the B-side here. And when I found this for 50 cents, Nick Cave, Jack the Ripper, check that out. And that's from my friend's secondhand store where I scored all that prog, right? And at the same store for 50 cents, Sisters of Mercy. And I'm fortunate to have the 12-inch of this from the same secondhand store for really cheap. And then Psychedelic Furs, Heartbreak Beat. And you know, this is my only second Martin Denny record I have, and this is A Taste of Honey, Martin Denny in the sleeve, and this is on Liberty. This is just cool. Really glad to have this one. And just a few more that aren't picture sleeves on Fantasy. And this is a later version. This is Susie Q. John Fogerty, Tom, Stu, Doug. Susie Q Part 1 and Part 2. On Fantasy, that should be a later press. And the Queen of Soul, we got Respect. And we all need respect. Dr. Feelgood is the B-side, and Aretha singing Respect. And this is just awesome. Bad Company, Can't Get Enough of Your Love. Little Misfortune is on the B-side on Swan Song Records. Now, one of my very favorite bands in the land, that would be T.O.P. Tower Power. And don't change those horses in the middle of a stream, man. I'm telling you. And I Got the Chop is the B-side. I love Tower Power so much. And last one, I couldn't believe this one, Motley Crue, Smoke in the Boys' Room. Yeah, and the B-side is Use It or Lose It. So there's all the 7-inch. Now, onto the vinyl. Those were 45 cents. Now, all of these are going to be 89 cents. 89 cents. And check this out. 6i, Satchmo. We got Louis, Ambassador Satch. And yeah, I got to show off this 6i. Show it off, JT. There we are. Wonderful record to have. I'm really starting to get a bunch of Louis records. Now this is just cool, and I cleaned it up. This is the New Seldom Seen album, and somebody very famous sings backing vocals on this. This one is from about the mid-70s, and Linda Ronstadt sings backing vocals for this pretty much bluegrass country band, and I really like this record. It's just wonderful. This was recorded, this is on Rebel. Let me show you. Look at this Rebel label. And this is from 1976. And I don't think she sings on all of the tracks, just some of them. And I don't think I had a nice copy of this comp. This is the Moody Blues. This is just in perfect condition, 89 cents. I might have one, but this one's going to be my keeper, definitely. And this is on Threshold, U.S. Pressing. And next you're going to go, why am I showing? This is Alfred. This is a Hawaiian legend. This is Alfred Apoca. Now, he passed away in 1960. I was just over on Oahu. And this man's a Hawaiian legend. And, you know, soul funk jazz in the 70s really took over with Kalapana, Seawind. But when you're in the islands, on the Big Island, Kauai, Maui, or Oahu, the Hawaiian music, it's just wonderful to listen to over there. So I am compiling a lot of Hawaiian music, and this is a good one to have, absolutely. And no, I'm not going to do any Don Ho. And next, I never show this artist, and I really do love him very, very much. Really respect Dan Fogelberg. This was 89 cents, a very, very clean copy. And, you know, Longer is such a beautiful song. And, you know, Run for the Roses, The Power of Gold, Part of the Plan, hard to say, really, really great. But Longer is such a, you know, it's such a great, my wife and I just celebrated 18 years anniversary, August 16th. August 16th is the day the king died in 1977. And yeah, so that's, anyway, we were married here in Reno. We had 2 weddings, and one in Bangkok, in Thailand, at a beautiful 4-star hotel, the Royal Princess. And next, Janice Ian, Between the Lines, and check out this hype. And I do have one other, this is the Rainbow Connection it's on, and I have 1 or 2 others of these, but this one's going to take the cake. Definitely. This is a very, very clean one. Now, one of my favorite songwriters and singers is Laura Nero, and I love the way the Fifth Dimension covered her songs. I mean, you've got Stone Soul Picnic, just Wedding Bell Blues, just so many great songs. And I never found a decent copy. The vinyl is perfect on this. The jacket, a little bit, but I'll take it because I wanted to have this comp for the Fifth Dimension. 89 cents. Now, such an artist, Olivia Newton-John, and I actually have a lot of Olivia Newton-John albums. And, you know, growing up in the mid-70s, she was just all over the radio constantly. And, you know, I liked it. I liked a lot of her songs, but you couldn't escape. There she is, so beautiful. What a great artist. And she's really being more appreciated. I love Juliana Hatfield's cover album. Juliana Hatfield from the Blake Babies and friends of Evan Dando from the Lemonheads. Her cover album of Olivia Newton-John songs. Check it out. Now, this is something, I only have one other album by this great Canadian band, the Guess Who, and I'd never had this on vinyl. Actually, I had it in the 70s. I don't know where it is. I have most of my records from the old days. I just didn't get rid of a whole lot. And when I was buying tons of CDs, I just kept my vinyl. I always did. So the Guess Who, I mean, you have These Eyes, Laughing, Undone, No Time, American Woman, No Sugar Tonight, Into Mother Nature, Hand Me Down World, Share the Land, right? Oh, man, the Guess Who are just so great. And the Queen of Disco, that would be Donna Summer. So fantastic. I have two others of these. This is a really clean one. Love Donna Summer. On the radio, MacArthur Park. I love her rendition of MacArthur Park. Now, I'm really compiling a lot of America albums I never had. This is the last one with Dan Peake before he went off on a solo, actually recording Christian music. But this is Harbor. A lot of folks don't like this, but what is really interesting, God of the Sun is so Beach Boys-esque. It really, you got to check out God of the Sun. And there's Dan. I just, Dewey and Jerry. I really love America. I mean, I grew up with it. Great songwriting. And as I said before, no wonder George Martin wanted to back them and produce them. Now, you know, Christmas, yes, it is around the corner. And I always wanted to get a clean copy of Merry Christmas, Johnny Mathis. And now I have one. This is mint. And I just believe this is on a 2i, but I'll be spinning this at Christmas. I grew up with this one. My father played this a lot in our home at Lake Tahoe, Las Vegas, and here in Reno, Nevada on a 2i, and this is going to sound great. Getting there, guys. Now, here's an analog Chicago. And, you know, this is Terry Kath is all over this greatest hits. This, I believe, is their very first greatest hits. And you have 25 or 6 to 4, Saturday in the Park. Does anybody really know what time it is? Color My World, Just You and Me, Make Me Smile, Beginnings. You gotta love it. And for me, some people go, oh, I only like the first Chicago album. Come on, man. The first 6 or 7 with Terry Kath all over them with that voice and guitar. So 2 more. I was really excited to see this one. Diana Ross, Lady Sings the Blues. The film, excellent. The music, Diana covering the great late Billie Holiday. Love to have this one for my soundtracks and just to have it. And, you know, my mother used to hang out with Billie Holiday. If some of you that watch my channel know the story, my mother was an entertainer, showgirl, chorus girl, dancer, chorus girl, actually, and toured with so many greats. And she would see Billie in the lobbies of the hotels. One time, my mother told me a story in Covington, Kentucky. Billie was in the lobby. She went over and sat down and chatted with her. And Billie had her little chihuahua, her little dog that she called Baby. And the other time my mother hung out with Billie, she had her pet chihuahua as well. And she just said, what a wonderful woman. And my mother was such a huge fan, she had to go over and say hello to the great Billie Holiday. And that would have been around 1950, 51. And I think the other time was in Chicago that she ran into her. But Billie could only hang out in the lobby, and you know why. She was not allowed to stay in the hotels. And Mr. Sinatra around 1959, 1960 really broke the ice for black entertainers when he insisted that Sammy Davis Jr. stay in the hotel. And the chairman of the board laid down the law to the hotel owner. He says, this is what's going to happen. And they listened. And that really, Mr. Sinatra was so key on helping black entertainers stay in the hotels that they were performing in. And I can't be adamant enough about that. It's just insane to think. Last record, guys, Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, Dallas Taylor, Greg Reeves. This is a second pressing. This is in really great, and I spun this. This sounds great. The originals, my OG, my keeper, has the leathery cover. I'm excited to get Deja Vu because the opening track, Carry On, is just amazing. And this man right here, Steve Stills, right there, is the one that, little backstory, that insisted that the cover be a heavy leather-like cover. And they only printed so many of them because it was just expensive. But this is just, this is just an amazing album from the very first note to the very last. And doesn't it end with Country Girl, Neil Young? Anyway, hey guys, thanks for watching. And next week I have more thrift store finds for Monday. As this is 2 thrift stores and the third, just too many records to show. All right, cheers.